Well, hello there, my friends. Oh, Robin's gonna get after me. Look what I did. I started late, and look what I did. Let's get this on. Yeah, I don't think that I think it should be more like that. There we go. Okay, guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Gavin. You know me. I know you. We're all friends here. If you are a friend, by the way, you probably are hanging out with us on the fish tank. If you're on Facebook, you're probably with us over on the fish tank. We're over 5,000 people strong now. I invite you, wherever you are, if you're on Facebook, if it's your thing, to come join us because we talk about lots of true crime cases, including the ones that we cover here on the channel. So please come on over and join us. One of the benefits of the fish tank is Jamie, our admin, will send you out notifications when we're going live, just in case YouTube doesn't work. While I've got you over here, don't forget that we are still playing, though so many people have solved it so quickly. I honestly thought that this game is going to last all the way to the end of the year. And indeed, for some people, it might. I don't want to take anybody's fun away. But the prizes have been claimed. Something like 17 people have finished the game. This is the Great 2025 Baby Gavin Treasure Hunt. Baby Gavin is missing. Baby Gavin has gone missing, but he's left clues as to where he is, where his whereabouts are. Where I can't. I constructed that poorly, but anyway, it's fun. Come and play. It's free. You're not being added to an email list. You're not going to get spammed or anything. It's just something fun to do. So if you're into little games, you like solving puzzles, this is the game for you. Okay, guys, we have been talking too much about parents and parent figures murdering their kiddos. I mean, obviously, goodness, we have talked at length about Madeline Soto. Thankfully, this has come to an end, at least in terms of Stephen Stearns. Madeline breaks my heart. The case breaks my heart. Madeline doesn't. The people around her do. Last week, we talked about Arya Talathi, the 4-year-old who was allegedly murdered by her mother, Dr. Neha Gupta. And today we've got another one that is just heartbreaking, and it is the murder of 9-year-old Melina Frattolin, a Canadian citizen on vacation in New York State with her father, a man named Luciano Frattolin. And I don't want to spend too much time with pictures of them happy because Luciano is now charged in this young lady's murder for some reason. And I just don't get it. Now, I don't have the affidavit of probable cause. This is something that I always try to get, but I do have a couple of things that I want to show you. The first is a couple of press releases. The second is there has been a media conference, and I want to get into that. Before we do, let's channel our inner Gisela, shall we, and do a little map time. She is the pioneer of map time. Let's bring it on over. So we are talking about Warren County, New York. We're in upstate New York. Let me zoom out here. Okay, so we're talking about the northeast of the United States up into upstate New York. New York has a funny shape. Manhattan is what we all kind of know, but yeah, New York comes up here. It's called upstate New York. And then when we get into Warren County, we get close to Ticonderoga. Where is Ticonderoga? It's in this area somewhere. It's a little place. Anyway, so this is the area that we are talking about. It is upstate New York is pretty darn rural, uh, rolling hills and mountains, dense forests. It's very much like Pennsylvania that way. It's a beautiful area of the country. something that maybe Mr. Frattolin was counting on. Now, there are other, I mean, you guys have probably picked up on it already, but Dr. Gupta, she took her child to Florida. And it appears to me, this is just my opinion, but it appears to me that she planned to go on vacation, taking her child away from her ex husband in order to take the child's life. That's what it looks like to me. And Mr. Frattolin also has shared custody with of his daughter. I like this one better because she's mad at him, and I want her to be mad. Oh, this just breaks my heart. She, though the mother said that there was never any indication that he would do anything to her. Well, and the same thing. Well, no, that wasn't the same with Dr. Gupta. He said that she had mental health crisis. Anyway, there are similarities. There's some parallels here. Let's first, now that we've done our little map time, let us go over, because they didn't get real specific about where this all happened. They withheld that information, but let's come on over to here and there are two press releases. I'm going to start with the first one, okay? This was posted on the 20th, 4:14 p.m. On July 19th at approximately 9:58 p.m. Warren County 911 received a call from a man reporting his 9-year-old daughter is missing with a possible abduction in the area of exit 22 on I-87 in Lake George, New York. Let's go back over here. Let's zoom in on it real quick. Lake George, New York. Okay, so it's in the southern part of the county. Let me bring you on over here. So here's Lake George. Looks like I think they call this area the Finger Lakes area. I think. Or the Finger Lakes, it doesn't matter. But Lake George is in the southern part of the county, right on Lake George, in this area right here. Okay? Okay. The child was identified as Melina Frattolin, age 9, and the caller is her father, Luciano Frattolin, age 45, both residents of Canada. The Warren County Sheriff's Office initially led the investigation. As the case progressed, law enforcement identified inconsistencies in the father's account of events and the timeline he provided. This starts to sound familiar once again, right? Going back to like Stephen Stearns. Yeah, I took her to school and I dropped her off here. Then I went to the vape shop. Then I went to, I don't know, the game place, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not matching up to what we got here. Same thing with Dr. Gupta, right? Uh, yeah, she had dinner. We had it this time. This is the time we arrived, and then it doesn't follow the timeline. Okay. Uh, with the assistance of the Essex County Sheriff's Office, Ticonderoga Police Department, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, New York State Forest Rangers, and the New York State Police Canine and Aviation units, Melina was located deceased in Ticonderoga, New York. Let's go back over to here. Let me bring you along with me and let's go to Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga, New York. So, an hour away, north, on the north shore almost of Lake George. That's where Ticonderoga is. So he called them from an hour away. It's only 38 miles or so, I think, around 40. But because it's a rural area, these are little rural highways. It's about an hour away. So that is an indication to me that he's trying to hide, what happened, right? She went missing from Lake George. I am so grateful about the stupidity of criminals. By the way, guys, I have been wanting to cough this whole time, so I'm going to chop up a little lozenge so I can have a piece in my mouth. Okay. This little knife was given to me as a gift. I use it as a letter opener and a lozenge breaker. That was an awesome gift. I really enjoy it. Okay. Going back over here, they had an update the following day. Okay. Update. On July 21st, Luciano Frattolin, age 45, was arrested and charged with murder in the second degree, a Class A felony, and concealment of a human corpse, a Class E felony. By the way, we can thank Amanda Lynn's Law for this being a felony, if I remember correctly. That's Amanda Winkowski. On Saturday, July 19th, 2025, at approximately 10 p.m., Warren County 911 received a call from a man reporting his 9-year-old daughter missing with a possible abduction in the area of exit 22 of Interstate 87 Northway in Lake George, New York. The child was identified once again as Melina Frattolin, age 9, and the caller as her father, Luciano Frattolin. The New York State Police and the Warren County Sheriff's Office immediately responded to the area of exit 22 of the Northway and initiated an investigation to attempt to locate Melina. On Sunday, the 20th, 2 days ago, a search detail comprised of officers from multiple agencies conducted an organized search in the town of Ticonderoga, New York, in an area Frattolin was suspected of having visited. During that search detail at approximately 1:50 p.m., members of the New York State Forest Rangers located Melina deceased in the shallow water of a pond. The investigation has revealed that on July 11th, Frattolin and Melina, both residents of Montreal, Quebec, legally entered the United States for the purpose of a vacation. They were expected to return to Canada on Saturday, July 19th, at which time Melina would be returned to the custody of her mother in Montreal. The mother and Frattolin have been estranged since 2019. The child resided full-time with her mother, and Frattolin visited with the child when in Canada. I do feel like this guy is of Italian heritage, and he spends time in Italy. I was looking at his Instagram account. It kind of feels that way. At about 5:30 p.m. on July 19th, Melina is observed with her father on video surveillance in Saratoga Springs, New York. At about 5:30, she's alive. At 6:30, she spoke to her mother on the phone and did not indicate she was under any duress. 6:30, she's alive. The investigation has determined sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother and before Frattolin's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melina and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement. No evidence has been located to support the reports from Frattolin of an abduction involving a suspicious white van in the area of the alleged disappearance. Give me just a second. Following Frattolin's arrest, he was transported to the Essex County Correctional Facility, where he was held pending arraignment. Frattolin is scheduled to be arraigned at Ticonderoga Town Court on July 21st, which he was. Melina's cause of death is pending the results of an autopsy, which is scheduled for yesterday. On behalf of, they thank everybody, and then any member of the public who has information regarding Melina's death is encouraged to contact the New York State Police at 518-457-6811 or email crimetip@troopers.newyork.gov. You can also contact Crime Stoppers. Okay? Stay anonymous if you must. Okay. So now that we have the basic outline of the case, let me go on over to your comments, and then we will move over to the media event. Phoenix Rising says, Gavin, it's time to seek help for your addiction. The struggle to get off lozenges will be rough, but you got this. Oh my God. I'm trying to I'm trying to wean myself off of them by making them smaller. What's funny is that as soon as I start talking is when I need them. I'll spend my entire day and I'm fine. I think I've coughed a grand total of 4 times today, but as soon as we start talking, boy, does it make it hard. All right, let's see. Gavin, no lisping. Yeah, these things make me lisp for sure. Hey, Tanya, member for 8 months. Thank you very much. We are proud that you are a member of our team, and I think it's pretty darn great too. Jojo, do you think these cases are happening more often, or are we just more aware of them because of the 24-hour news cycle? I believe it is the latter. You are correct. I have a good friend named Kenny Ballantyne, who's a documentary filmmaker. He actually has done, what did I just do? He's done some amazing work on safety of children, and he shared with me, I mean, whenever we talk about this, we talk about it quite a lot. Our children are much safer today than we were when we were kids. But it's probably because we're so hyper aware that they are more safe. But because we're so hyper aware, we we tend to helicopter a little bit. But yeah, the 24-hour news cycle definitely keeps them in our thoughts. Finger Lakes are farther west. I live in one. Ooh, oh, you live in a Finger Lake? Yeah, our son, not my son, our son was just at Lake Seneca. I think that's, yeah. Oh no, that's, anyway, yeah. So there's tons of little lakes all over New York. I'm not even letting you look at the map. I'm looking at the map. I'm dragging it around, not even showing it to you because we need Melina up there. Thank you, Tanya. And let's just make sure that we are all caught up. Okay. Tony says, sorry about last night. I was just so angry about the Stephen Stearns hearing. I believe you. When will the public know the results of the autopsy? I don't think that we know yet, but we're going to get to the media conference. Why is YouTube giving me problems yesterday and today during lives? Just because black screen during commercials? I don't know. Have I connected with Joseph Scott Morgan? I have not. I've been so busy today. I just need to text him. I will do so, Robin. Oregano oil capsules. You know what? I need to use this more often. This game is a suggestion for a viewer. These are great. Yeah, a lot of justification. Seneca Lake is 2 over from us. We are on the Canandaigua. Cool. Very cool. Upstate New Yorker. Pretty fun. Okay, let's go over. Thank you for your comments, everybody. Let's head on over to Ye Olde QuickTime. This actually came directly from the New York State Police, and it is 20 minutes long, 10 minutes long, so it's not too long. Let's have a listen.
Good morning.
By the way, I didn't have to adjust any audio. Thank you, New York State Police, for having good audio. I deeply appreciate it.
My name is Robert McConnell, and I'm the BCI captain for the New York State Police in Troop G. I would like to thank members of the media for being with us today. I'm joined to the podium by Zone Commander Captain Gary Denise, Assistant BCI Commander of Troop G, Lieutenant Andrew Cornell, Acting Director of Forest Protection, Dave Patcher, Deputy Commissioner Matthew Franklin, Acting Colonel Brian Gillis, Captain Scott Daly from the Department of Environmental Conservation of Public Protection. The New York State Police and our partners is currently investigating the homicide of Melina Frattolin. I want to remind everyone that this is an ongoing investigation, and this information is preliminary and subject to change. On Saturday, July 19th, 2025, at approximately 10 o'clock p.m., Warren County 911 received a call from a man reporting his 9-year-old daughter missing with a possible abduction in the area of exit 22 of I-87 Northway in Lake George. The child was identified as Melina Frattolin, age 9, and the caller as her father, Luciano Frattolin, age 45. The New York State Police and Warren County Sheriff's Office immediately responded to the area of exit 22 of the Northway and initiated investigation and attempt to locate Melina. On Sunday, July 20th, a search detail comprised of officers from multiple agencies conducted an organized search in the town of Ticonderoga, New York. In an area Mr. Frattolin was suspected of having visited. During that search detail, at approximately 10:50, members of the New York State Police Forest Rangers located Melina deceased in the shallow portion of a pond. This investigation has revealed that on July 11th, 2025, Mr. Frattolin and Melina, both residents of Montreal, Quebec, legally entered the United States for the purpose of a vacation. They were expected to return to Canada on Sunday, July 20th, at which time Melina would be returned to the custody of her mother in Montreal. The mother and Mr. Frattolin had been estranged since 2019. The child resided full-time with her mother, and Frattolin visited with the child when in Canada. At about 5:30 p.m. on July 20th, Melina is observed with her father on video surveillance in Saratoga Springs, New York. At about 6:30 p.m., she spoke to her mother on the phone and told her she and her father were en route back to Canada. The child appeared to be in good health and did not indicate she was under any duress. The investigation has determined sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother and before Mr. Frattolin's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melina and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement. Initial reports from Mr. Frattolin of a suspicious white van in the area of the alleged disappearance was proven to be untrue.
This is basically
The
what
suspect
we
has
just
been
read.
charged with murder in the second degree and concealment of a human corpse.
Second-degree murder.
He was then transported to the Essex County Correctional Facility where he was held pending arraignment. The suspect is scheduled to be at Ticonderoga Town Court this morning for arraignment. Melina's cause of death is pending the results of an autopsy, which is scheduled for later today. This is certainly a difficult case and a heartbreaking investigation. On behalf of the New York State Police and our law enforcement partners, I want to offer our condolences to the family of Melina. I would additionally like to thank our partners with the Warren County Sheriff's Office, Essex County Sheriff's Office, Warren County District Attorney, Essex County District Attorney, the Montreal Police Department, Department of Environmental Conservation, the Ticonderoga Police Department, and the FBI for their assistance in this investigation. If any member of the public has information regarding the death of Melina Frattolin, I encourage them to contact the New York State Police at area code 518-783-3211. I will now answer a limited number of questions. I ask for your patience as due to the active nature of this ongoing investigation, I am limited with respect to how much we can release at this time.
Do we know motive?
The motive is still under investigation.
No motive. They don't know.
What led you to believe that? What was the first sign that there were inconsistencies in the story?
Yes. So the suspect's initial account is that he had pulled over in the area of exit 22 in Lake George, pulled over into a parking lot to urinate. His initial report is he steps away to a wooded area, returns to the vehicle, and at that point, his child is gone from the vehicle. He reports a suspicious white van fleeing the scene southbound. During a subsequent interview, he then reports two unknown males forced her into a white van.
So
That
he
lead was
changes.
thoroughly investigated and disproven.
Change his story.
Do we know the cause of death yet?
The cause of death is pending the results of the autopsy, which is scheduled for today. Go ahead.
Do you know anything about his mental state of mind?
We have no information that there's any issues with mental health, no.
And you say that he was estranged from his wife. Do you know if he was authorized to travel alone with his daughter?
By the way, like in the Neha Gupta thing, the husband did have concerns about her mental health. In this case, no concerns.
He was.
Does Mr. Frattolin have any criminal record in the U.S. or
Let me go back on that last question because I kind of cut it off. Let me. About here.
Disproven.
Do we know the cause of death yet?
The cause of death is pending the results of the autopsy,
Right.
which is scheduled for today. Go ahead.
Do you know anything about his mental state of mind?
We have no information that there's any issues with mental health, no.
Okay.
And you say that he was estranged from his wife. Do you know if he was authorized to travel alone with his daughter?
He was.
He was okay to travel alone with his daughter. Okay.
have any criminal record in the U.S. or Canada that you're aware of?
He has no criminal history. He has no domestic violence history either.
How cooperative was Luciano in the discovery of her body?
I cannot provide any information with regard to that at this point.
How will it work since they're both Canadian citizens? How will you try?
I don't want to speak to the prosecution, but he'll be charged and prosecuted in New York State.
What led you to Ticonderoga?
I don't want to divulge too much with respect to law enforcement technology or the tools we use, just to say that we focus our search area at Ticonderoga based on inconsistencies in his initial account, as well as some technology available to law enforcement.
Where did the 911 call emanate?
I would imagine that that probably is video related, right? I bet they were able to trace him all the way back to Ticonderoga.
From?
The suspect,
No, geographically. Where was
Warren
it?
County.
Okay. Was it in Lake George, though, or was it?
It was the area of Lake George, correct, in the area of exit 22.
Forgive me if this was already covered. What are the charges?
Murder in the second degree and concealment of the human corpse.
In terms of the Amber Alerts, I know there's been reports of some people getting it, some not. Can you just tell us what the process was in issuing the Amber Alerts and what time?
I don't have the time in front of me, but I can tell you just any time an Amber Alert is issued, there's a balance between providing prompt information to the public, but also ensuring that information is accurate and reliable. We don't want to numb the public with unvetted alerts. So in this case, it was difficult to confirm some of the initial information provided by the suspect.
Do we know what reason they were visiting the U.S. and where they were supposed to be going?
It was just a vacation. It was a planned vacation. They visited a couple locations in Connecticut as well as New York. They were most recently in New York City.
You said surveillance was in Saratoga Springs. Was that the last piece of surveillance you received, or was there anything north of that?
That's correct.
Could you just go over the timeline one more time?
I do not have the timeline in front of me.
What was the surveillance? Where was that? Was that a business or?
It was at a restaurant.
Do you know about how many officers were devoted to the search additionally?
I can't give you a number. It would be measured in the dozens. The Warren County Sheriff's Office sent every resource available to investigate this right at its inception. Same with the New York State Police. We had us in conjunction with the law enforcement partners. We had aviation, drones, K-9, investigators,
They took it
uniformed
seriously.
troopers. Every resource we had to bear, we applied in this investigation.
Where will the arraignment be held today, and do you have a time?
I don't have a time. It's scheduled for today in town of Ticonderoga Court.
Just to clarify, you said the body was found in shallow water?
In the shallow portion of a pond in a remote area. That's correct.
What area was that?
We're not divulging the location at this point.
Did it appear that he had tried to conceal the body?
Yes.
How do you think the response was? You had a multi-agency search in a very short period of time. How did that work for you? How do you think that went?
Public safety is always our number one priority. While these cases are very rare, they are incredibly tragic. And I just want to ensure the public that the New York State Police and our law enforcement partners will always utilize all available resources to apprehend any offenders that endanger children.
Can you talk at all about how difficult this case was involving a 9-year-old girl?
It was very difficult. It's very emotional. I was at the command post when we received notification that she was deceased. It was very difficult and emotional. At that point, though, the best we could do is provide some measure of justice to the family, and we are just fortunate we're able to do that in this.
Some measure of justice. He understands there's no full justice, right? And just do our best.
case.
Did he say, within police presence after that 911 call, or was he under any sort of observation?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
After Luciano made the 911 call, did he stay under any sort of observation by police? Was he, I guess, in some sort of police presence up until his arrest?
Yes, he reported this. He fabricated the initial report of the abduction, and he was in the custody of police from that point on.
Take one more question, guys.
Can you say, did police say if the mother had any concerns about the safety of her daughter while she was with him?
She had no concerns for her daughter's safety while she was with him. She knew that he was taking her on this trip to the States. Law enforcement was in contact with her, as well as Montreal PD, during the course of the investigation. Thank you.
Guys so much.
All right. So that is the the entirety of the media, the press conference. There's a couple of other stuff that I wanted to just show you guys. He's being charged with murder in the first degree, or in the second degree. Murder in the second degree is basically when somebody intends to cause death but doesn't pre-plan it. There's no malice aforethought, right? So in uh, New York State, this comes from newyorkcourts.gov. The count is murder in the second degree. Under our law, a person is guilty of murder in the second degree when, with intent to cause the death of another person, he or she causes the death of such person or a third person. And intent means conscious, objective, or purpose. Therefore, or thus, a person acts with intent to cause the death of another when that person's conscious, objective, or purpose is to cause that death. Under our law, it is not required that the person who dies be the same person whose death was intended to be caused. So these are like jury instructions, right? But basically, it does not include premeditation. Premeditated murder would be murder one. Okay, the other thing I want to show you is this article coming out of News 10 in Albany. And this was published today about 2 hours ago. And it says, as New York State police continue investigating the death of 9-year-old Melina Frattolin, investigators, he said Frattolin, whatever. Investigators asked anyone with information to come forward Tuesday. One Ticonderoga resident said she submitted 2 police reports in hopes to help, in which she detailed her account of possibly seeing Luciano Saturday evening. Rebecca Kulikowski has lived in Ticonderoga her whole life, a small town that has now been shaken up by the recent tragic death of Melina. Rebecca recalled the moment Melina's Amber Alert went out early Sunday evening. And when we got home, we got an alert, and I was like, God, no. I can't even tell you what I felt in that moment. It was horrible. However, New York State Police confirmed Monday that 9-year-old Melina was never actually missing. According to police, Melina's father faked the missing report, has been charged with second-degree murder, concealment of a human corpse. State police held a press conference, blah, 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 blah. And I want to get through that because we got... Okay, state police said they've received over 700 tips from the public since the initial Amber Alert. One of those tips, Rebecca said she said it all started when she was driving in Ticonderoga on her way to Timberwolf in Schroon Lake on Saturday evening. Rebecca said she saw a Toyota Prius stopped on the road and a man near it. It only caught my eye because as I was driving past the car, I seen a skinny, tall guy. She seen him. Okay, said Rebecca, and he was running up a hill that he was parked next to, and there was wooded area at the bottom of it. I just didn't feel right. There was something about him. I don't know. Our eyes locked when I drove by. He looked at me. Rebecca said when she woke up to an Amber Alert Sunday morning, she contacted police right away. State police said because of the large number of tips they've received, they cannot confirm this sighting. However, they still encouraged everyone to reach out with possible information, just like Rebecca did. Yeah. Rebecca said she is heartbroken, wishes she could do more to help. I think a lot of us feel that way, right? We watch these things and there just doesn't seem to be anything that we can do. She is one of many locals who plan to attend a candlelight vigil Tuesday evening to honor Melina. That would be tonight. There will be a vigil at the Percy Thompson Bicentennial Park in Ticonderoga and another one across from the Stewarts in Schroon Lake, both starting at 8 p.m. News 10's James De La Fuente will be there with more updates from locals. So that started about 9 minutes ago. State police released new information Tuesday evening showing pictures of the car Luciano and Melina were in. They're looking for anyone who may have seen something more specifically in the area of I-87 Northway between exits 28 through exit 20. Anyone with information should call them. I think they may include, yeah, this is the car. It looks like a silver Toyota Prius. And that is what they have released. Yeah, so this would have been the area. Actually, let's watch this real quick. Give me a second. I think I muted this tab. Give me just a second. Here we go.
On the community.
And I can't even tell you what I felt in that moment. It was horrible.
Lifelong Ticonderoga resident Rebecca Kulikowski remembers the moment this Amber Alert hit our phones.
And when we got home, we'd gotten the alert. And I was like, oh, God, no.
But New York State Police now say 9-year-old Melina Frattolin was never actually missing. Police tell us her father, Luciano Frattolin,
Hold on, I wanted to
the
see.
missing report. Frattolin faked the missing. But New York State Police
I
now
wanna see
say
that sign.
9-year-old Melina Frattolin was never.
So this gives us a little more information, right? Let me look at this real quick. No, wrong one, Gavin. Come on. Give me a second, guys. Let me go to preview. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see this, but let me zoom on it. Plymouth Lake short something trail, short swing trail, or Faro Lake Wilderness, short swing trail. Let me look that up real quick. Faro Lake Wilderness, short swing. Faro Lake Wilderness, short swing trail. See where that is. Of course. Of course. Let's go back and just take a look here. So Faro Lake Wilderness area. So seems like it's in this area, right? So I think Ticonderoga, yeah, is over here. And the Faro Lake Wilderness is over here. Faro Lake Wilderness, let's short swing trail. See if we can find it. And it just zooms up in on there. Okay. Anyway, let's go back over here. Just that's the area
Actually
they were
missing.
in.
Police tell us her father, Luciano Frattolin, faked the missing report and has since been charged with her murder.
The investigation has determined sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother and before Monsieur Frattolin's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melina and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement.
Police say they've gotten over 700 tips from the public since the initial Amber Alert. One of those tips, Kulikowski says she made.
We were on our way to the Timberwolf in Scrin Lake.
On their way Saturday night is where Kulikowski says that she believes she saw a man.
This is his
On
perp
their way
walk.
Saturday night is where Kulikowski says that she believes she saw a man running up a hill near a parked
That was
car.
for his
As I was
arraignment.
driving past the car, I seen a skinny, tall guy. I just didn't feel right. There was something about him. I don't know. Our eyes locked when I drove by. He looked at me.
Kulikowski says after the Amber Alert, she reported this sighting to police. Police say because of the amount of tips they've received, they cannot confirm this sighting, but they're still encouraging everyone to reach out with
See how
possible information.
thick, how dense the
just
woods are
like
there.
Kulikowski.
Today, I was doing a bit of reorganizing through some of my craft stuff. I came across this little angel thing, and I thought of her. You know, like I instantly thought of Melina.
Tonight there will be 2 candlelight vigils, one
All
in
right,
Ticonderoga
so we know
and
those
the
things.
other.
All right, let's bring Melina back up here and go over to your comments. It's just good to kind of see where they are. Let me refresh here. Hey, thank you very much to Autumn for gifting a membership. Thank you, Autumn. Susan says, I know whenever things like this happen, we always search for the reason why and hardly ever get the answer. Yeah, he said there was not an indication any history of mental health. There was no history of DV. Well, thank you very much, Crime and Consequence. I don't know that I am an absolute genius, but I do strive to learn as we're going through these cases. Thanks for saying that. I like it when they repeat the questions the media asks. Yeah, I do too. They hardly ever do that. I need a prescription for Tessalon pearls. I am under the care of a doctor, everybody. Don't even worry. Cindy from sunny South Florida. New York's second degree is the same as other states' first degree. It seems like murder one is uh, purposefully causing somebody's death with malice aforethought. So I don't think that that's quite right, Cindy, but I don't know. You might be right. First time Haley is caught alive for a while. I'm glad I'm back too. Thanks. Um, Lindsay says, I feel like it is premeditated. The father phoned Melina's mother for the last time to speak to her. Well, if they can prove premeditation, I'm sure that they will charge murder one. And that is the right of the prosecution, right? They can say, "Hey, we can prove murder one here and can change it up." Maybe they will. Um, Jojo says, I think that is why we always want to know the why or the case. We want to try to prevent it from happening again if it is possible, even if we did know the why. Could that prevent another? Yeah, I'm with you. I think that is probably why we're always searching for the motive, is to try to figure out how to prevent it in the future. Great. And that's a great comment to end on, guys. Thanks for spending a little time with me. Let's send happy thoughts and wishes of condolences, prayers if you feel so inclined, to little Melina's mother and her family. We have a whole bunch more victims here who are now trying to process the idea that their little one, who they have known her whole life and had hopes and dreams for her, have been dashed. All of that has been taken away, and they're trying to deal with that. That is a difficult, difficult position for them to be in. So let's try to, I guess, be sensitive to that in our comments about this case, and we will keep an eye on it. See what happens with old Mr. Luciano. See what he does. He was arraigned yesterday. That's what that perp walk was. And preliminary hearing should be coming up soon. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. Hey, don't forget. Do not forget. Don't forget to head on over to the website, gavinfish.com. It is linked down below. And play the Baby Gavin, the great 2025 Baby Gavin treasure hunt. It is a 20 clue treasure hunt to try to find our missing baby Gavin. Start by just giving your email. We use your email not to email you like spam you or anything. It is only so that we can track your progress. And that's what we use it for. I have in my mind, by the way, game number 2. We'll have to let this one play out for a while, but I have got in my mind game number 2. And it's going to follow more of a Zodiac cipher style game. And I think what's going to make it really interesting is that each and every one of you will have a unique cipher to solve. Whoa! I figured out how to do it today, so I'm kind of excited. But for now, head on over, play the great 2025 Baby Gavin treasure hunt. See if you can find Baby Gavin. If you are stuck, I know that like once we get down here, people are stuck at clue 3. Some like many people are on clue 1 still, right? I mean, lots of people on clue 1 trying to figure it out. head on over to the fish tank and get yourself some help, okay? But those in the fish tank who know, don't spoil it. Let people figure it out. Just offer clues along the way, okay? With that, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I bid you adieu until the next one. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.